The islands occupy the northern corner of the Lake Victoria, the second largest freshwater lake in the world. The largest island in the archipelago is called Bungala Island, which accounts for more than half the archipelago's land area. Its largest town, called Kalangala, serves as the headquarters of the district that carries the same name, Kalangala District. Kalangala is located approximately 51 kilometers southwest of Entebbe in Wakiso District on the Ugandan mainland. Africa Ferry links Bukakata mainland, located 36 kilometers east of Masaka, with Luku on Bungala Island, about 50 minutes sailing. The ferry sails either directions every few hours from early morning to the late afternoon. The principal industry in the Sese Islands is fishing, mostly Nile perch, with much of the catch being exported. Overfishing is a huge concern on these other islands in Lake Victoria. Other industries include agriculture, forestry, and tourism. The most popular route that the island can be accessed is through Nakiwogo, near Entebbe by MV Kalangala, as the main gateway to the archipelagos. Transfer between Nakiwogo and Bungala Island is usually 3.5 hours. MV Kalangala was built by Damen Shipyards from Netherlands at a cost of 14 billion shillings and completed in 2005 before being commissioned in 2006. It was first operated by Mlowoz and Brothers on a 3-year contract from 2006 before the ministry and the technical team took over its management until last year, when it was contracted to National Oil Distributors for management. This vessel makes daily routes leaving Nakiwogo landing site in Entebbe at 2 p.m, arriving to Lutoboka landing site in Kalangala at 5:30 p.m. Then it leaves Lutoboka the following day at 8 a.m. and arrives at Nakiwogo at 11 a.m. every day. The chairman of the area, Stephen Busura, reveals how businesses in this area have been boosted because of the ferry services, that is transportation of goods and people.
Government yagiteekawo engeri owatali nti waliwo oluguudo kubanga kyali mu ntegeka nti wano weetaaga okolawo oluguudo oluva wano oluconnectinga to Buwaya. So ekyo programu engeri gyeri nti
government put this ferry because, as we know, there is no road connecting to Buwaya.
Ekola ng'oluguudo olugatta olutambuza abantu okuva eno okutuuka wa eri, so tebajja ku bantu sente. Ebavuddeko eri mabega waliwo akayumba, mulimu n'ebitabo ebya feri, bawandiika biki.
Before anyone boards the ferry, they are required to register. In case of an accident, they can't be traced easily.
Kesi nti singa wabaawo akabenje bamanya bantu bameka era ani abafunye eki akabenje. Records zo zibeerawo olw'okuyamba mu ngeri y'okunoonyereza.
Busura further discloses some of the challenges that people face on the island, including the weather changes, and by the time our team reached Nakiwogo, there was a heavy downpour that affected nearly 90% of the businesses in the area. The weather is not so good even on the lake. There has been too much coldness, but all is well.
The weather is not good, although I continue transporting passengers from the ferry. The weather affects many businesses, though I remain working.
At the landing site, it's busy operational. Several activities going on. The ferry carries goods and people. Cars are seen being removed from the ferry as the drivers are instructed, while on the other side, men of the business community are assembled to get to their destination. Smart 24 TV interacted with some of the passengers. They shared their grievances, which are faced while boarding a ferry during the bad weather. It costs us a lot when it's raining because where we line up is always full of water and there is no shade where we can stand. Another thing, we ask the government to repair where the ferry works. That's all I can say. Because of the high multitudes of the business community using the ferry, some are left behind, which hinders their delivery of services to communities. We are normally left behind and they pick us on the second route. We find when our customers have even left because they normally buy in the morning.
Yeriko abaguzi abakeera eyokubiri osanga abaguzi bakendedde.
Feri ene tuyamba eyamba omuntu wa wansi n'ate mu kaseera kano aka COVID batwala abantu batono nnyo ate nga lwe luguudo lwe tukozesa.
I appeal to the government to help us because this ferry takes very few people resulting from COVID-19 because this affects our businesses and it's the only transportation that we have.
Nsaba batwongeremu batutambuze kuba lyekkubo lyokka eririwo eritusomosa ffenna balemenga kutulekawo ffenna batusobole ng'otutwala.
Bange nsiimako busiimi nti gavumenti yeebala okuteekawo feeri eno. Feeri eno egezezaako okukeeza abaana b'essomero abava ewaffe kuba nze ensula eno.
I thank the government for this ferry because it has helped our school children to get to school.
Badagiranga maato. Neyanziza neyanzege ekyo gavumenti kyekoze eyongeremu bwongezi yeebale nnyo yeebalire ddala.
Kosa ddala mu budde bwe buti naddala. Ate saizi eno Nakiwogo kitali eri waliyo ku kiyumba ky'oyinza okutuulamuko ne weegamye ku mpewo ku nkube.
With the weather, we have no shelter, so it affects us more. So when we are waiting for the ferry, we ask the responsible authorities to help us.
Ekyo bakizeewo kyatukolera ddala nnyo.
Some of the local leaders at this island expressed their gratitude towards the government of Uganda for easing transport services on the islands. However, they continue to share some of the challenges they encounter, such as limited space on the ferry.
Ferry mama kwandibadde kulungi nnyo naye ferry eno ntono okusinziira ku bantu abagikozesa abayitirawo. Kisaana oba nga batongeddeyo ku ferry enneneko kubanga abantu.
Using the ferry is very good, but we need more space because sometimes and people don't have where to sit. Also, when we are experiencing like a heavy storm, it disrupts businesses because most of them cannot use boats.
Ennyanja eba ezitoyi olw'empewo naye nga ferry bw'ebanga nneneko okusingako abantu basobola okugyako.
Era bayimirizaamu ne bakola service. Era sofa kasookedde embeera wano sitiranga nnyo kuwulirako. Sinawulirako nti meeri oba yenyise mu mazzi oba yakoze eki ekyo kyo mawulire gatambula butambuzi naye.
During COVID, the lake got full and most businesses were misplaced. Also, when the weather is not good, it's very hard for the ferry to move because of too much wind.
Naye era nga mumanyi ensi bw'ebeera tomanya abantu abamu bayinza kubanga watambulira ab'emize emirungi mwe mutambulira n'ab'emize emibi. So ab'emibi nabo be bayinza okukola ebyo naye nga tekiriiwo.
All said and done, now it's the time for the ferry to land. This is seen at this exact time as per schedule. Here, the local leader takes us through the landing of this ferry.
Kalangala okujja wano Nakiwogo MV Kalangala era evaayo eri essaawa 2 n'etuuka wano ku ssaawa 5 naye leero ekyereyemu nkoko neeyongezaamu obudakiika obwo naye ng'eri suppose kutuukawo ssaawa 5 zennyini.
This is the MV Kalangala, so it was delayed due to the bad weather. This ferry has a gauge of how many cars it's supposed to carry. When it lands, they get ropes and tie them on the poles so that it's not taken by the wind. It doesn't take long for passengers to offload their luggage.
Abaliwa? Kati ene bweru be balagirira nti mugirewo muti era we bamala ne bafuna emiguwa ne bagisiba. Ebikondo biri ebibiri bye mulaba mabbali wali n'eno. Kati oluwa empolo olaba eraninga okuba etyo. Awo gondi n'etambulirako motoka ne zitambulirako nga zivaayo ezeene zirinya ne zirinyira okuba ezityo n'abantu bwe batyo. Kati abadde tanalutereeza bulungi naye kati olwo agezaako okola ki okugitereeza etereere ebeere mu layini ng'oluguudo bwe lukola ki bwe luli. Kati egyo emiguwa gy'olaba bagisikayo basobole ogisiba ku mpagi zino embuyaga ereme ekola ki kugitwala kubanga embuyaga yo y'amaanyi esobola ogikubeera n'eddayo. Ku bungi bw'abantu ababa balimu n'ebintu bye bajjako ku meeri kisinziira ku ekyo obudde we butambulira awo. Baba nga tekuli migugu naki motoka biki obudde buba butono. Naye engeri gye guliko motoka biki bye baba baleese kitwalako obudde nga bungi koko. Okomawo kati meeri eno okuva eri nga bwe nkugambye okusooka etuuka evaayo essaawa 2 n'etuuka wano essaawa 5 kitegeeza etambula essaawa meka 3 deni n'okuddayo eva wano essaawa 8 n'etuuka eri essaawa 12 awo waliwo essaawa meka obudde obwo bwekozesa.
Nile perch is the most fish business here, with much of the catch being exported. This is done using canoe boats. Some of the canoeists share some of their experiences in their business.
Abantu 30 katubalenga 15 ku 13.
Before the availability of the ferry, I used to transport around 30 people at only 3,000, but now the number was reduced to 4 people.
Nakavuga lutu emu ntwalamu abantu 4 gwe mutwalo gumwe 12 kati ziri sawa mmekolooza. Kati kusinzira ku mbeera eriwo oluusi n'akaddi erike musinganye kagenze twewa abantu abo tuvuga abantu bana nti ne bannaffe basobole okubeera nti baddayo ko n'akawunga mu nsawo.
Bwe yakolanga amaato si bwe gaakolanga naye ekyaleeta ekyo korona abantu nga balina okubeera nga batudde beewadde space.
Before, boats would carry over 14 passengers, but currently it's a few people due to the presence of COVID-19. But also the other issue is about life jackets required for everyone to have. They are very expensive because one goes for 700,000. Now the boat carries only 4 people, but we are hopeful.
Life jacket nti buli musabazi omanyiza mbeeyi ozigula gavumenti yeebeera bubeezi eri n'egamba nti omuntu alina okutambulira ku mazzi ng'ayambadde life jacket naye nga ka life jacket akatandikirwako kali mu mitwalo 7 kudda waggulu kaakati n'ow'eryato olw'okuba nti oba omutaddeko akazito k'okwambala life jacket abasaabaze ng'alina okwongeramu kabeeyi ne liba nga ligenda ku 2,000 ne kati essaawa zino liri ku 3,000 batuulamu bana ekyekyokka ne korona bw'anaaba aweddewo tulowooza nti amaato gajja kuddayo ku bantu baago.
Here, a boat is seen ready to set off as the rider prepares it, and it's only carrying 4 passengers. Other residents in this area complain about the local leaders as they haven't come up to solve some of the problems they encounter, such as poor garbage collection methods that causes diseases.
Bo beerabirira ddala ku kigambo kya kasasiro muyoola era ndooza kasasiro gye bali mu kkubo mwennyini mpitirivu nnyo tebamuyoola.
We have a problem of garbage and local leaders have not taken an initiative. This comes from the market, including dirty diapers. So all this goes to the lake, and it's the same water we use. We appeal to the government to help us.
Akulukuta amazzi gava mu kasasiro nga gakulukuta gayingira mu nnyanja muno ate nga naffe ge tukozesa ng'abantu mu bikyamazima gavumenti etuyambe eveeyo etuyambe.
Some of the business women are seen cleaning some of what they use at the shores of the lake using dirty water.
They don't allow us to sell our products around this landing site, and this affects our lives and families.
Leero muzze lunaku lwa kabubu ng'abalimi bonna weebali.
Today is a market day, but I'm telling you, compared to the population at this island, we have limited space because traders are over 400. We appeal to the government to come through for us.
Bali mu 140 n'olwekyo n'ekyo gavumenti bw'eneeba etuyambye n'etugaziyiza katale ejja kuba etuyambye.
We got chance to move around the market area, and most of the traders were running their businesses while on the road. This confirms the high population in this area and limited space.
Kyekiyamba kano akatale ka wano ke kavaamu ebirime byonna ebitambulira mu butale bwonna okutuuka e Kajjansi.
The other thing is about this ferry. It's very small and it's used by traders who take produce to several markets like Kajjansi. So we ask to be given a bigger ferry.
Kikolako emirundi ena gyokka kyandibadde nga batuwa ferry esingako awo bunene.
After the landing of the ferry, we moved on the other side of the island where fishing takes place. At this time of the hour, most fishermen are just preparing their nets for the big catch. These young men use their hands to disentangle the fishing nets as they throw them in the boats. Apart from the ferry transportation, fishing is another major activity done at this landing site. Speaking to one of the fishermen, Vincent Mukasa, says that not every day is a good day to catch fish, but either way, they have to keep in business.
On a day, we don't have an accountability of fish to be caught because some days we catch and others we don't. So it's all about luck.
Vincent further shares some of the challenges they encounter while at the lake, including their fishing nets being stolen.
Tuyina ebitongole bingi nnyo ebitutunuulidde mu mateeka oluusi n'obutali mu mateeka. Bwe tuba tusanze ebizibu by'okuvuba bino obutimba buno mubulaba bugula ssente.
The fishing nets are very expensive, but most times they are stolen. The other thing is the price of the fish that doesn't vary accordingly, yet the price of the net remains the same.
Naye ebizibu bye tusinga okusanga muno y'ebbeeyi y'ebyennyanja etali awo nti yasimba ya lubeerera kati ekyennyanja kugamba engege eyinza ogitunda omutwalo ogw'ogumu ebbiri n'ate buyinza okukya nga bagimpaddemu 10
The managing firm for this landing site, Alan Chobe, the head of public relations, reveals they still have some constraints. However, this is going to be resolved so that the passengers can find comfortability.
Constraints in that area, and these are major land constraints or space constraints for where to actually put this waiting shed. Because as you know, there are several other stakeholders on the lake. We have those with private boats, we have the markets, and those are people we actually have to work with. There is, however, a better facility or better facilities on the other side in Buaya, where the ferry eventually parks when it has left Entebbe. What our teams are now doing, there has been effort to engage the Entebbe Municipality Authority to try and see how we can find space within that area where we can put a waiting shed for our clients. So yes, it is a challenge which we acknowledge. However, we want to work with the Entebbe municipality to see if we can find the space. Yeah, because if we are to get land, it will require land acquisition. Land acquisition means that you actually have to pay money, and that money is also a challenge itself. So if we can work together with our partners, the other side of the municipality, maybe we can find something. So there is an engagement going on to try and see how this can be realized.
Alan adds that they faced a problem of heavy rains which damaged the entire landing site. However, there is hope.
Ferry there called the Nakiwogo that flies from Entebbe to Buaya in Impiji, so we can then connect all the way to Masaka. We were a bit challenged by the heavy rains. We had a period when the rains were really intense, but also quite volatile, that they damaged some of our landing sites. In fact, submerged ferry landing sites. In some areas, we actually had to stop the movement of vessels until the water levels calmed down. So this happened across the country. So Nakiwogo was not spared either. So, but at the moment, to improve the state or the condition of the landing site, our teams have already scoped that section or that area for major works, that is the improving of the landing site. I've been told already that our people have already started the mobilization of materials to start the works. So you can be sure that we are actually doing something to improve the condition of that landing site, so that the users can comfortably get onto the vessel and proceed with their journeys.
Kati abo bakola transport